I do have several questions here. I'd like to start with Mr. Long. In your experience with the trucking industry, how do you think gliders promote recycling and the smart use of fossil fuels?
Sure, thanks. Let me say thank you for your interest in small business trucking issues. It's really greatly appreciated.
Proud to do it.
Yeah, we've seen rates that gliders can recycle millions of pounds of steel each year. Our members who use them report that they've saved a mile per gallon, as much as a mile per gallon on fuel efficiency, which over the course of a year can translate to 3,000 gallons of diesel fuel. These are all issues that I think have gotten a little bit lost in the conversation about the overall public health impacts. But another one that I want to touch on is something that no one's really addressed at all, and that's that taking owner-operators off the road, pricing them out of the industry, is taking the most experienced and safe drivers off the road. They're going to be replaced with young, inexperienced drivers who are certainly not going to be operating as safely, and you will probably see crash rates go up. So I think that's another public health consideration people need to take into account when talking about this. It's a much bigger picture than simply an EPA study and a Tennessee Tech study.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And then one more. Your story about Lauren Hunt really resonated with me. It's a great example of innovation and the American dream. And I wanted to ask you, is Lauren's experience unique, or do others in the trucking business experience similar challenges that he did?
Lauren's story came to us a while ago. Since we started telling our members that we would be participating in this event, and since we've been getting more engaged in the glider kit issue in general, we've been getting more and more stories like his. Yeah. We've had members just this week send us their cost estimates for refurbishing or repairing new trucks with the new technology, and how much they let us know that it costs tens of thousands of dollars, but they're also unable to make any money off that truck because it's been in the garage so long. So we've been getting a slow stream of stories about this, and I anticipate because of today we'll probably be getting even more.
Okay. All right. Thank you very
much.
Sure.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Long. Appreciate it. Now, following that up about recycling, Dr. Belzer, what type of data or information was excluded in the EPA's Phase 2 regulatory impact analysis that should have been considered to ensure its reliability when used to influence policy and regulations?
In this context, EPA has guidance on the conduct of regulatory impact analyses, just like as OMB does. EPA's guidance directs the components of the agency to conduct a proper analysis of the incremental costs and benefits of every kind of material provision of a rule. That's been in EPA's own guidance for a decade or two. They didn't follow that in this case. So what you have in the 1,100-page analysis, you just don't have anything there. So I can't tell you why that's true. It's a provision that's a significant one. If it were not a significant one, we wouldn't be talking about it. But it wasn't subjected to analysis that we would normally expect. If I had been working in the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs in 2016, I would have advised the administrator to return the rule because the analysis is significantly incomplete. They know how to do it correctly. There's no mystery about that. These are not complicated analytic questions.
Okay, and then lastly, in your straw man RIA, you state that as a result of the Phase 2 final rule, the glider industry will be destroyed and employment losses are highly plausible. Can you give us an idea of how many American jobs will be lost as a result of this rule?
I think it's difficult to do, and there are problems with counting job losses in a regulatory impact analysis. That is a complicated matter in economics, and one that the way to go about this is actually to count them, try to estimate them separately, not to count them as benefits and costs or one or the other. It is difficult to do because you don't know to what extent the people working in this in the glider manufacturing business where they would go. That has to be estimated to see what happens to them. In a full employment economy, they would go elsewhere.
Right.
In a less than full employment economy, we don't know what's going to happen to them. And many of these jobs are located in rural areas where the alternatives may not be as rich as they are, let's say, in New England.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr.